Hello. Countdown is on. Are we live? That is the question we always ask when we get on here. Hello, I'm Erin from Solo Boardroom. Welcome to the monthly boardroom session. Oh yeah, monthly boardroom meeting is up on X. That's what we like to see. Now, where are we? Clippings, clouds, and the final one. Are we live on LinkedIn? That is always a question. Sad that we have to check still. It's like, what? Oh, yeah, we're here. Tap to join. Let's go. Let's copy that link. Sharing now. So come and watch on YouTube or live now in our monthly boardroom over on right. We're done. We're here to go. We're ready to rock and roll. So, welcome to the first live monthly boardroom session. I'm Erin Chathowan. I'm the founder of soloboardroom.com. And our boardroom is basically because nowadays solo does not mean small anymore. And I built Solo Boardroom because why not have the C-suite from the very beginning? Like, why not have it? Well, I've been in business 12 years. I built it because that's what I was missing from my corporate life. The connection, the information. And guess what? AI gave us those tools. And so I have a board of, you can have 6, but I have a board up to 10 members with side chats and weekly chats. We have weekly boardroom meetings. We have agenda items. We have minutes that come out of those meetings, and you can go back in. We have revenue pathways for your business, for your products, and it's growing and building as we go. So, like, my pathway to get here, my first course I went to university when I was 18 out of school, and I was studying multidisciplinary, which is like a psychology thing. And I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. So 6 months in, I deferred, and then I did a course in massage, and I became a remedial masseuse. Only for the fact that at the time, that wasn't going down well with people in my life, and so I changed paths. And that's when I got into advertising. I actually was in data entry to begin with. I used to be very quickly typing numbers because back in the day, we used to have to do data entry on plane tickets because, it wasn't just send to your phone. It was literally, we used to put that's showing my age, but we used to put the data. Well, it was actually not showing my age because, this is only query, a lot of the things that happen, like physical tickets, like they used to be carbon copied and you used to take it out. We had a fax machine, and when I started in media, I'm pretty sure email had just started. By the time I got 2 years in, and I was the leader in the youth division selling Dolly magazine and PlayStation magazine and all these wonderful titles for youth. And we launched our first magazine website. We were one of the first to launch on a website on internet. We did it with 9MSN. So I've been in the world of the internet since for about 30 years since it came out. And yeah, this is our life. Sorry, I'm just sharing the live out into the world. There's times this week or in my life, I think sometimes we hold back because we think, oh, I should have been this, or I think at school I even wanted to be a chiropractor. I was like, man, I got so many different hats that I could have worn. And we block ourselves from our future, or we block ourselves from our genius zone when we think we should have done the other thing because we didn't finish it, or we've got a story about the fact that we never like I with the masseuse, like I never did the hours that I needed to do to get the qualification because I moved into advertising, and then my life went in a completely different direction. And then from advertising, I went back in and I trained as a counselor, and then I trained as an organizational systems like facilitator. And so once I started to learn how my brain worked, I started my business, and I did counseling first, holistic counseling, and I did move to coaching, and now I do business mentoring because, putting all that and gathering it together and bringing it into the world, that was the part of my business. But I really felt like there was something more, and AI has really like given me this tool to get my brain to the ideas of my brain out in the world. Before, Solo Boardroom would have probably cost about 750,000, maybe more, $1 million, $2 million to build. And, I had it up and running in 3 weeks. Like, what is that? This is the world we live in, which is the same with the boardroom. Like, you used to have to wait until your business was turning over millions before you actually then went and hired a C-suite, or you were there, a venture capital came in and they started to build a version of a C-suite for you because you were part of theirs. And so, like, there's all these different stages. Whereas now, like with soloboardroom.com, you can have like that now, like whether you're earning, you're starting out and you're a founder, you've got a side hustle, whether you've got a business and it's established, like the people who have purchased Solo Boardroom so far, they're small business owners. Some are founders and some are small business owners, depending on their hat that they wear, entrepreneurs, let's call them. And they, some of them they're new, like they've had a business, they're starting out and they're getting traction now because they have this system behind them. They feel a lot more supported. They can feel like they can, look at their business and what's in their brain and put it out on the table. Like I've built Solo Boardroom, and then the mechanics behind it, but also the plan for Solo Boardroom, I've expanded in Solo Boardroom. So our $100 million plan is literally on the table because of Solo Boardroom. So it's kind of like within itself. It's very much quantum physics. It's within, if you understand that. I always tell you, it's like imagining it multiple times in different versions of yourself. So yeah, we're very, very excited right now. Sorry, I just want to share. Oh, I don't think it's going to let me. It's going to repost is what we want. There we go. Repost. If you're watching live, hello. If you're not watching live and you're watching the replay, thank you for dropping in. And we're going to dive right into the boardroom agenda because this is a boardroom monthly session. I'm going to run this monthly, so I will come on. So keep track. Make sure you're signed on to my events on LinkedIn or following me on Twitter. So at Solo Boardroom or Erin Trethowan. My name is spelled very strangely, but you will find me. So what I'm going to do, I've got some questions that people have put in that they would ask their boardroom, and so we're starting with that. And I'm going to bring up the boardroom agenda. So I've dropped, let's see. Hello. I think I'll go, we'll go here for now so you can see. So this is the boardroom agenda in Solo Boardroom. So if you don't know what to bring into a boardroom or what to bring, like the prime audience for Solo Boardroom really understands a boardroom. They've come from corporate backgrounds. They know how boardrooms work. They know that they answer to the CEO, the CFO, the CTO, the sales director, the marketing, director, the chief marketing officer, like all those people in the room. We have an admin, we have a chair, but before sometimes we get in the room, it's like, what do I want to bring to the room? So it's not about you don't know what to bring. It's how do I set my agenda? You don't have to do this. You can skip this, right? But what I did was just land my comments here, land the questions that I have been asked, and I'm building an agenda out for you as we speak. You can see here, it's all ready. So all I did was drop these questions. Now, if you were going to use something else, you literally would, say you can ask it questions. It takes you through a series of, it'll extract out of you. So say you were like, we went in and we just said, I want to, like the first question cab off the ranks is, I have paying customers, but I'm not sure whether to keep selling the offer or build the next thing. So I'm reading off a very small screen because I'm not looking at the screen. So let me just change my view. That would be helpful. Yeah, so I have a paying customer, but I'm not sure whether to keep selling this offer or build the next thing. How do I decide? So what this does, like if we didn't, I've just dropped them all in because what it's going to do is dropping these questions in by department into the boardroom. Okay. And so in the boardroom, we have various, it even tells you what to do here, so you can jump in. Anyone can use the agenda builder. It's free. You can go and use it for any meeting if you want to know what to bring to your meeting, agenda builder, and it will extract that information out so you can ask it a series of questions. So all I've done is for this meeting that we're doing here today, I'm going to get the board to weigh in while we're in convo, and I'm going to drop, we'll see how many questions we can get through. We'll try and get through as many as we can. I've dropped them here. I think there's about 7. And as you can see, you can copy your agenda of what it is, or you can just take it straight into a boardroom meeting. So you get one meeting a week, but we do have a side chat. So say you didn't want to have a full boardroom meeting, and I'm just going to, if you notice here, it's brought our agenda item in here, today's agenda. And before I do that, I'm just going to show you one other way, which we've talked about before, but down here, if you go into the boardroom, your vision for your business stays at the top, talks about your commitments. We talk about your pipeline, the sessions you've had, a completion rate on your pipeline, and then how many minutes you've generated from board meetings. But on the side, you can get action items, so that from every meeting, you will get action items out. From every meeting, there will be forecast set for your business. You can go to save agendas. There is a coach platform where you can talk to your coach. There's none in there at the moment because I am not coaching myself. And then we have our momentum tracker, like telling you where you're at with your action items, and at least the top 3 just in the main page, so you don't have to go anywhere. But down here on the right-hand side, we have the boardroom where you can chat. So say you had a question, that person's question was about I'd probably bring strategy into their question because it's about pricing. And I would probably bring, you might want the CEO overseeing because it might oversee before it gets to sales and marketing. So let's say you'd have a conversation with CEO and strategy. But for the purpose of this today, we're just going to stick into here, into this meeting. I am going to try and use Whisper Flow rather than type because it's quicker. So it's boardrooms in session. This particular boardroom is specifically for my app called Conversion Killer. But so it's going to give slight variation on these questions, and I'm going to answer these questions. Oh, sorry, I popped out. I'm going to answer these questions myself of what it's taken those questions and put them in here. So I'm just going to say, morning board, I'd like to go through all the agenda questions. We're currently in a live session with Twitter, hello, old school, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and we're just demonstrating, but I also am in a boardroom. We're going to talk about main questions that boardrooms get asked, which we listed in the agenda. If you want me to put those questions here, I will, but let's get going. So excuse me, you notice that I'm giving it information and talking to it. I use Whisperflow because it's the easiest way to get traction without having to type everything out. It is one of my favorite apps besides Replit. I am going to drop the questions again, so them, and let's go. Now, a full boardroom session would take you through 11 steps. We go to every department. The only thing is we were probably going to add in a 12th step because we want to put ops currently has technology and information under it. So there is a possibility we're going to add in an individual tech like section because I'm finding utilizing them is really important. So if you notice already, the board's chimed in and said, welcome, hello. There is exactly these are the right questions to ask. And the fact that you're asking them tells me you're operating at the right altitude. Before we get to the agenda, I want to close a couple of loops. And I'm going to say, no, we're not going to do that. The CEO has framed the accountability piece. Like literally already they're calling me out going, where are you at with this posts, with these ideas, with this strategy, with the launch priority, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to drop here and say today's agenda is not to do with any of those. I know you want to address that. I will come back in at a later date and address that. Let's stick to the agenda. I run the meeting still. Even though there's a CEO, I still am the founder and I still they're going to push back on me, which is a good thing because that's what we've trained it to do. We want it to push back so that we actually get better results. Like that was the whole point. We don't want you to you could go to ChatGPT and put this question. It's not going to challenge you the way this may challenge you, but it's also these questions are slightly different because we're asking a series of questions. But if you went into chat, it's not, or Claude or whatever, and you're having that dialogue, that's not going to get you what this ends up giving you because we've built it so that the board extracts the information out of you, but also challenges you and pushes back. They already pushed back on me saying, where are you at with this? So we're going to tell them no, and we'll see what they say. I personally, I love it that they push back on me because I'll be like, I don't really want to do that thing. And they're like, come on. And so we end up having it. Understood. We'll park the accountability. They're pretty good. Unless it was really pushing or really, So they're asking the first question, how many paying customers do you have and what have they purchased? Now, this is because the first question we asked was, let's go back. The first question on the item today was, I have paying customers, but I'm not sure whether to keep selling this offer or building the next thing. How do I decide? So before they give you their answer, personally, depending on who you are and what you're selling, that's gonna change the outcome to this question. I would look at where they've paid, why they've paid, how they've paid. Was it on sale? Was it where it was in the tracking? And to be honest, sometimes we build the new thing because we're avoiding the feeling of the void. So this is my take. This is the mentor's take. We avoid the feeling of the void. So when you get traction quickly, I had this with Solid Water, we built it. I built it. Me and agent, we built it. I built it. We literally had our first sale in the first, we built for probably about, it says 3 weeks, but we weren't live with, we didn't go live with the product probably 10 days and we got our first sale. But I was doing a lot of traction because it was in a build-a-thon. So there was a lot of energy and pipe around it because of the way I built it. And our first sale came in. It was a person that I knew. So it wasn't like a new customer in. And the thing that I noticed with that was it was quick. But I'll tell you, the next paying customer didn't come for a month. Didn't come for a month. So we literally had this step from here to here And that month, like, there was a lot of things happening because we needed to we were getting feedback on our feedback. So we put Solid Boardroom on Better Bloom, we put on Better Bloom app, we put Solid Boardroom on places where we got feedback. We're in the community, we're still building. We were riding the end wave of the build-a-thon, and at the same time, we were looking at, well, when you sell one and you're like, oh, am I going to be able to do it again? Am I going to do it again? It doesn't matter what you sell, whether it's an online product or whether it's in person. I've sold both, or whether it's a product for someone else. Like, doesn't really matter. I've been in sales for 30 years, so that was what my job was in marketing and advertising a lot of the time. And so we had to understand all the aspects of anyone's business to sell into it, to get them the traction. And we would look at what the lever was to pull to get the next sale. And funny enough, through the process, I launched Conversion Killer app because I found that my own landing page, like, I can look at someone else's landing page when you've got your eyes on something all the time. Like, you're talking about change. Should I build the next thing? I would say no. And not until, like, that's why we built Conversion Killer for that product to use. This is how we built. We're not building because we want to build another idea and see if we get traction, because we're afraid that this isn't going to sell again, or we're uncomfortable in the void of we don't know what's happening. And that's what happens with everybody in sales. There is a skill in actually thinking, not like holding trust that this is going to sell. And there's a few tweaks that we may need to make. It's like when we do Conversion Killer app, we're looking at the landing page and we're looking at what is it that's blocking the conversion in your page. Also, what is it could be blocking the conversion once they've signed up. So if you have a free thing, like, that's what we looked at. It's like the person who ended up buying a month later signed up at the very beginning and loved it, but didn't sign up until a month later to use to get the traction. By that stage, we'd upgraded the app even more. So we put in extra features, and we also then had to build out, like, we built out our $100 million plan by then. We built out where the future of Solid Boardroom was. So we built in the coaching program, we built in the affiliate program, and we built in our enterprise program. So like in Solid Boardroom, you can come in at just technology level and you can buy it and have your board and you operate. You can then upgrade for me to coach you in the app, and I will talk to you while you're in the boardroom. And that is another layer. And then you have enterprise, where I build you your own version of this. You're still on a monthly plan, you still get this, but you get a white labeled version of Solid Boardroom for you. So you might want to put extra people in the boardroom. You might want to have a different vibe. Someone else, you could also on the tech layer, you can get your coach to come in and coach you in the app too. So they have a view, so we upsell in that way. We also have the affiliate program. So once we sold our second paying customer, we got our first affiliate as well, because they loved it that much. They signed on to sell it, and they'd already been pushing it out to people and decided that I really love this product, I'm going to sell it too. So we launched the affiliate, and basically when the affiliate program's out in the world too, but there's no like limit on that. Anyone who comes in and signs on, and if they stay for a year, you get 20% of the revenue share. And so once, like, I can look at it for that month was like, it's holding this space. Like, we got the quick sale because of all the momentum. It was so exciting, and it was like bursting out of every part of my body. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe we sold this. To the next component, which was I held this space, and what I called the void, which is what happens. And this is where people get a little bit like, oh, which way do I go? Do I go here? Do I go there? What's the move that I would make? I don't like this uncomfortableness of not knowing. So maybe I need something else. So what could I build instead? What could I build in the future? And what do I need instead of what does this product actually need to create the future that I want for it? Instead of like going out of yourself and going, oh, I want this in the future. What's the best way for me to get it? It's like, no, where's the product at? And do we need to filter anything in the offer? Because it could be just it's sold quickly. So this question was, I have an average of I have paying customers, but I'm not sure whether to keep selling the offer. I'm like, well, people are paying. It's like people have paid for your product. That says a lot. Like there's people out there who haven't sold anything into their product. If you have paying customers, you have a MVP and people are using it, you're already 100% ahead of anyone else at this point. Even free trial signups, like that's part of it too. Whether they're converting to paid is a different thing, but it's like there's a decision that you get to make. Is this because I feel uncomfortable because the gap between the next sale isn't okay, or is this because I have a vision and I can see a new product coming through? Like that's completely different. But you don't not keep selling the other offer because you're building something else. So that would be one thing I'd say. That would be the clear answer. So it's already on to me about my affiliate agreement with Tommy. We just had a meeting about that, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, that was back there. Okay, so how many paying customers do you currently have and what have they purchased? Now, for this product, they're saying, the CEO has said, first, their offer decision, because everything else depends on it, keep selling or build next. Then conversion rate, because we're talking about conversion killer, then conversion rate, because your leads are live and the drop is costing you now, then pricing, then product market fit. So then the affiliate, then the first hire, and we'll close on investors' readiness. So notice how they're telling you already, it's telling you how to buy. Like this is based on my product, so it's slightly different. It says, let's get into the 7 questions. I just want to make sure I'm okay. I'm just going to say to it, these questions are from users, from audience about what happens, what questions to bring to a boardroom, and for me to answer them and for you to answer them. They're not specific to Conversion Killer, although if you want to use Conversion Killer as an example, we can do that. So this is a bit of a trial of what kind of answers you would give. Like this is not a normal boardroom, by the way, that I'm running here because it's not on my product. Like if this was on my product, it would be a very different question that I ask. So the first question on the table, here we go, is I have paying customers, but I'm not sure whether to do this. Do you want to answer this yourself first? Okay. It's already said, do I want to answer first? Okay. I have answered and I've given my answer, which is basically, depending on where you're at in the sale, you only build a new product, but you don't stop selling the new one if you're going to build a new one. So I had Solo Boardroom. We built Conversion Killer app for Solo Boardroom and then started selling that as well, like not separate. But if you don't have the capacity to hold the 2 products and to sell both products at the same time, that's a different question. That would be my response. Okay, that's a strong answer, Erin. This is, and it's grounded in real experience, which is exactly what the audience wants. So the board would reinforce that and sharpen it with one additional lens. The trigger to build the next thing isn't boredom with the current offer, which is kind of what I said. It's evidence. Specifically, 3 signals tell you the current offer has earned the right to run alongside something new. It's converting without you having to manually close every sale. Is it? It has a delivery rhythm that doesn't require your full genius every time. And we're assuming this product is an online product, by the way, and it's generating enough cash to fund the build of what's next. So if it was an offer, say you offered a service and that service was full, or you'd been selling products, but the offer was boring you, then that's what it's talking about. So using conversion killers as a live example, the $299 skip the queue offer requires me, Erin's direct expertise to deliver. That's not a problem at launch, but it does mean the capacity question she raised is real constraint. You don't build the next product when you still have the bottleneck in the current one, unless you've or also solving the bottleneck simultaneously, which is what we did. We had a bottleneck in sale at Boardroom. We built Conversion Killer because we had the bottleneck, and that created another revenue stream. The CFO would add one hard rule: never build on new on debt, build new on proof. Proof that the current offer pays its way first. So I built Conversion Killer after this first product had sold. So it already sold. And so I knew it was selling. I just needed to look at where else in the conversion was there an issue, and that's how it was built. The board's edition is the condition for running two products is that the first one doesn't need you to survive. So we got right now, solo Boardroom does not need me in the room to sell. It should sell. It should. It's got an offer, and we put an offer in now at currently 75% off the first month, which is for 5 spots only at that rate, and then the discount goes up. So there's a offer in play that's working with the audience. Our landing page is working with the audience. Our email system is working with the audience. We are currently building an agent to do work for me in that area, so that removes work for me, and then we build it out. What does the audience want to push on, the capacity question or the cash question? Okay, so we're just going to say, basically, I've got everybody in the room here. Normally with a boardroom meeting, we would go to the next section, which would take us to sales, which would take us to marketing, which would take us to finance. So I'm just going to jump in and grab the next question. I think we've landed on the answers here. So I think we've landed on the answer for that question. Let's go move to the next question. I don't think this boardroom will go all the way through the 11 steps here. We're just whichever board meeting executive wants to chime in, they can if it's relevant to them. Next question is live. I've been averaging 3 new leads a week, but my conversion rate is dropping. What does the board think is going wrong? Good question. In a real scenario, I would, well, this is why we bought Conversion Killer. The conversion rate drop, it depends on where your product's at in the cycle. Like if you basically launched and you got traction because it was so my belief is launch phase always has traction. It's like the new shiny thing. People see something new, they're like, oh, I love it. And then they see it repeatedly and it starts to become a bit more whitewashed if they've decided they don't need it or whatever. And you need to expand your distribution, right? So that would be my take. So it would be where you use your distribution. If it has dropped, there may be a distribution problem, and where are you putting it out to market? The sales director wants to lead on this one. And the answer your audience needs to hear is that a drop in conversion rate with a stable lead follow almost never means the offer is wrong. Yeah, that's what I agree. It usually means one of 3 things. The wrong people are entering the funnel. The gap between what was promised in marketing and what they experienced at the point of sale was widened. Or the founder has unconsciously changed something in how they're presenting the offer. So pricing, framing, confidence, urgency, and the market is responding to that shift. So I really like that it's the unconscious thing we sometimes do when we're putting things out to market. Like, from a mental point of view, I'd be looking, are you expanded enough to believe that this product can go bigger? Because that's essentially the psychological thing or the energetic thing. But with unconsciously you change something. And I want to talk about probably here where I've done that before. Um, Mainly in my coaching offerings where I have an idea and then I launch and I get a really great response, and then the energy kind of just goes "Oof," like down, like the response peters off, and then it's not because that anything changed except me about the offer, where I was like launching the energy out here, but I was only like I had a belief about it that kept the energy dropping about it. So I wasn't holding the space for that to actually go to market in that bigger way. And so for me, it was unconsciously, I was saying that, and it's so interesting because particularly founders, we are energetically embedded in our products, very much so because we built them, and our our energetic systems play out. This is an organizational system thing. So our energetic systems play out. And for me, I've been working on this, breaking this pattern for probably my whole coaching life, like in that, like over time, like in business, we succeeded, we hit six figures, then we did this in our revenue for years. And I was like, okay, I'm done. What am I missing? Then we build Solo Boardroom, we build the thing. The thing that I did in my marketing for Solo Boardroom was this, shifting the pattern that this didn't happen. And so I was like, I'm done with this kind of drop off energy. I was like, what is this drop off energy? But it was in me, it wasn't in anything else. The product stayed the same, everything was the same, the trajectory of it was the same. It was only me that actually, when I stepped in, I was like, oh, and I began over time from my life, developed a fear that I was going to get negative, like a like a whack, right? I know it sounds odd, but when I was a kid, I had this traumatic experience where I got hit by a golf club. I'm not going to go into it, how it occurred, but I got hit. Now, that trauma response stayed in my body, but it's the thing that had me pulling back my energy slightly, like the fear of like, I've put it out there now. I've put the ask out. I've put the product out. I've put the launch out. And then all of a sudden I would just naturally go into this like silence, like pulling my energy back. And that played out in my systems of my work, of my business. It played out in many places in my life. It wasn't just work, but it was entangled there. And so that's when we're looking at organizational systems. Sometimes we're looking at what the founder set up and where did it come from through their lineage and where did it come from into their system. And so what I did recently and when I've been launching Solo Boardroom was like staying on the trajectory. So even if I felt like pulling back, I was like, lean in, lean in, lean in. Like I just had a conversation with Better Bloom. We're going to do some testing on some stuff he's got going on, and you'll all see it soon because I'll be recording it and posting it, where I'm doing reviews. Now, like I've been putting out my product and talking to people and doing the thing back in the day. Like I was in sales for 30 years, so I know how to outward bound sell. I became a person who didn't outward bound sell because I kept getting the repercussions in a negative way, which is the pattern. And so what I had to do is lean in and go, no, that pattern doesn't exist anymore. There is another way to do this. There are people who are going to love my product. There are people going to love what I'm saying in this boardroom. There are people who want me to showcase their products and share and partner with. And like, I really had to lean into that because my mentality was telling me no. So like, I get where the boardroom's coming with it from and that point of view. It's like unconsciously change. And that's what I would say happens a lot. The other stuff is more about your marketing, your conversion rates. Like, did you change something in the actual pages? Most people look at this stuff as like top level of what's your conversion page doing? They change it, it looks perfect, they get 100%, but they're still not converting because of these underlying patterns, which is why I be a mentor. Like that's what I do really well. And I can see the underlying things that are in the way. So the diagnostic, so the question the board would ask was, what has changed between when conversion felt strong and now? That's what I would ask. So what shifted? Like me, I was like, it just was like this energy would drop off. It was like, I've got no drive to do this now. I don't want to do it. I don't like it would have a weird energy. Like all of a sudden I was so pumped and then nothing. But it was actually just this energetic pullback in myself, not the lean in. The lean in is very true. Okay. So on to the next question. I hope that one was helpful. Let's go. What do we got? Sorry. I'm honking the horn. Where are my questions? Back up the top. Okie dokie. I want to raise my prices. Oh, I love it. I love that question. Let's go. Okay, next question. That was great answers. Thank you. We're going to put it here. My board is my team, so I treat them how I want to be treated. And I create culture in my business wherever I am. We can set culture for Boardroom as well. Go into the Boardroom details. It'll ask you what kind of culture you want to set in your business. Like if you're into hustling, go by all means set it up. Or if you're into different ways of doing business, you can set that up as well in the Boardroom. So we've got a couple more. Let me just check. Well, they're answering that question. Let's see if there was any comments. Okay, so I want to raise my prices, but I'm scared it'll kill my momentum. Walk me through the decision. Okay, my response is why. My question would be, what's driving the increase? Because if it's fear, it really just depends. Is it resent? Because resent is the one I would go with here. Most people drive price. Either they're not making profit, so they haven't done the due diligence on their pricing in the beginning. They may have dropped pricing at the start and aren't able to increase it because of the way they did it. There's that. There's also the increase of revenue that is sorry, I just was thinking about there. Yeah, so there is it's almost like a gap. Like it's showing me like a gap of nothing. It's like they're not, people put their prices up because they want to make more money, but it's also about the expansion of what you believe you can charge. That's what I would say. So you're limited by what you think you can earn to what you can. So the CFO and sales director both have skin on. I love that. Both have skin in this one. So let's frame it and let the board weigh in. So fear of price increase is almost always a positioning problem disguised as a pricing problem. I like that. Yeah. So that's the expansion. It's kind of like what I said. Do you believe? It's like, have you positioned your product as a premium product, or have you positioned your product to be that price, or do you believe you can charge that price? The fear comes sometimes with founders, solo entrepreneurs. It is about their own worth entangled in the price. I see that all the time. It's like what they think about them. It's like what they think about themselves is tied into what they price their product. And also the other one is what the market thinks the pricing of the product should be. So if Solo Boardroom is a premium product in the eyes of a SaaS product, because it's, $500 a month Australian. So, maybe what is that? $300 US. And so with a premium product, we position as premium. It is premium because of what you get. Like it's a done deal. All the meetings are in there, all the chats in there, all the AIs are in there, but there's a lot of nuance in there that comes with the IP of having this product, the asynchronicity of it, all the talking, all the how it all talks to each other, how the people weigh into it, like the build of the structure, but also what is the outcome it's going to give you. One is that you don't need to pay $40,000 a month for a fractional COO. You don't need to pay the board. If you gathered that board in person, it would cost you $2 million, $1 million, depending on what you're paying and what members of that board you have. So there's a lot of structure in here that you no longer have to pay for outside. So $500 is saving, like, is nothing compared to those outcomes. There's that. And then there's the idea that how originally we sold the product as the product that you need to have before you get that. And one day I had an epiphany about it, and I was like, this is how it works. My mind had an idea that this is the boardroom I'm going to get till I get my $100 million boardroom. And then I went, oh shit, that's actually not that's not what we're built for. We're built for the $100 million now. We're built for the product now. We're built for the boardroom now. And with AI, what that's done with agents and products like Solo Boardroom, it's taken away the equation that I need to hire humans for it at all. And that if the product's premium enough and it does deliver the result, which it is, because of the person who's behind it or the idea. Like I've seen a few knockoffs of this recently, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's new, because, we do our competitor research, and I'm like, the landing page is exactly like my old landing page. And I was like, not visually, but the wording. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting that's come out from people seeing it and it being out in the world, but it's never going to be the product. It's kind of like, any brands that offer a premium product or whatever. So if you're pricing, you need to understand why your pricing is going up. What is it that you're delivering? What's the outcome? So the other thing that we looked at, not only is Solo Boardroom, is like this is our tagline now, solo is no longer small. Like it's not. Like you can have millions and millions of dollars from being one person, and this gives you structure even more so to create more revenue no matter what you earn. And whether you're starting from scratch and have this behind you and say, well, this is the investment that I'm going to make, because this is like, I know what I've invested to get this product, just to build it, and understand, like, it was still cheap compared to what I could have paid to build it in the past. But now with AI, the whole point is you don't have to pay a lot of humans to run your business anymore. There's a lot of agents that can come in, or products that you can pay for, that run your business with you. Notice I say with you. And so we changed the strategy on our product and on the pricing of, like, it became a no-brainer, rather than the old story was a bit more around, well, you get this first, then you get that. And that's because I didn't believe in, like, back here, like, there was a belief here, like, this is, you turn these knobs on this product and it'll get you this. And I was like, actually, no, that's the old story. Like, we don't need that anymore. AI is here to run lots of our business. You'll see a lot of businesses scaling down. I want to make really clear that I don't believe in no human businesses, because I am a human. But I do have a strategy that matches that. And I'm working with a lot of people who are the same, like Tommy from Better Bloom, we're chatting today, and Sean from Levelize. Like, and I've chatted with him in the past, like, it's all about community. And so when you're a group, this is how founders or solo people who have a boardroom backing them, and they all have that boardroom, the community aspect is bigger. And so when we get in a room, we're all backed by this product. And then we have, this community of people who, that's when you get in the room. So say you buy my coaching and mentoring, if you get into enterprise level, like there's a boardroom for everybody who's in monthly with me and everybody in it. So you start getting the heads of everybody in it, and that's where the magic happens for the world, really, because that's how partnerships are grown. That's how relationships come about. That's how, we build out. We're no longer competitive. We're building in a different way the environment. That's the culture of the business I've always wanted to build. I've got to do that with Solo Boardroom. That doesn't mean everybody who's in Solo Boardroom would be on that path with me. They may be on their own path in Solo Boardroom and develop their own relationships and develop their own connections in that way, whether you're a consultant or a coach and you start building it out for yourself. Like that's what it's about. But the whole point is you don't need, like, the culture of a business. When in organizational systems, the culture is part of, like, how's the business functioning. Even when you're a solo person, the culture still matters, because what I envision is bringing in really talented brains that expand, that don't need to do those roles, that they're going to do different things than normal. And I'd rather spend money on that than actually, and partner with people like that, than worry about what the sales director is going to say, because I know what the sales director is going to say, because I did it for 30 years. And I also know what sales directors say in certain cultures and what sales directors say in my culture. You know what I mean? So the question that Board's asking, so that's my take on it, is these decisions. So they've got gate 1 is, do you have proof of results? If yes, your price increase is evidence behind it. It says, Erin has this. A user tweaked her recommendations and got his first traction. That's the case study. So that justifies the higher price point, or that justifies the sale, that justifies the price increase. Or what happened was, that was a free thing, the conversion killer, which that made me go, he got results straight away. I went, oh my God, this is a monetization. So then I went, oh, actually, I can monetize this. They can run conversion killer. They can pay $39 and get the output and how to do it in an agent and what to put into the agent to get the traction, to get the conversions. Or they can have me roast them, go in the roast queue, and I just do that over the next months. If they've got time, if they don't want to wait, they pay me $299 and they can either go in the roast queue, which will happen, or they can have a private demo. And I send them all the details, and because what I do in my conversion killer lives is I tell you what's going on, but I also then create a little conversion in Canvas in Replit that you can take and add to your product straight away. So, tweaking is, we priced it, we put a price on it because we could, because the first person we did this with, I did a live version of it for Levelize, and he took what I said. As soon as he changed those things, he got a paid customer like that. And so it's those little things. Like, I'm a person who sees the levers to pull, and once my clients pull them, they generate revenue. Like today, we just had this is a mentoring client, not a they have Solid Boardroom too, but we've been working for months on their blocks and them building their business. Now, they've been in business for 2 years, but really have not been in business at all until they started coaching with me last year. And because they didn't have a website, we built them a website. We built them, like, there's a lot of things at play. And they just got their first sale and 2 more leads in the last few weeks. That didn't just happen overnight. We didn't do lots of different tweaks, but there was other major shifts on how they're talking in sales, what they're doing. Like, because my mentoring is quite deep because I have a lot of background. So, if we talk about, she's like, oh, I got this, actually, I'm in their Facebook because I am part of their meta developer profile. So I get some of their messages, and I saw the inquiry and I saw the things, and I was waiting for them to come in their Voxer, and I was like, ooh, what are we going to do? And I didn't approach her until she approached me, because that's the part of it. But that's part of the leadership, to go, oh, I got this lead. Can we work through it so that I don't fuck it up? Like, that happens all the time. So there's like those things. So gate 2, enough of digressing. Gate 2, are you sold out or close to it. Scarcity is a market teller. You are underpriced. So if you're delivering at capacity, a price increase doesn't kill momentum. It filters it towards buyers who value the outcome. Gate 3 is, does the new price reflect the category you want to own? Price is positioning. A $2.99 offer sits in a different conversion than a $9.99 offer, even if the delivery is identical. And that is true. So you could sell in person on like an example of this conversion killer. You can get roasted for free and join the queue. You can run it yourself and get some answers. That's free. You can pay $39 and get like the output that has my information behind it, because I feed it with conversions that I do, as well as we tweak it all the time of what information it gives. It is a work in progress, a landing page. It's not a done and dusted. So it's something you're tweaking all the time, unless you get it right. As soon as you start getting sales, I'd be like, let it be. Then there's the version of $99 where if I've done a roast, you can pay $99 and I'll send you the landing page that I created and all the agent prompts that I sent. Or you can pay $299 and jump the queue, and I'll do it straight up. Like, you'll be first cab off the rank. There's no waiting. And so there's that, but also you can ask for a private roasting too. So I don't recommend private roasting. So I think it's good to be tagged in posts and get out there. People seeing your product and understanding it's great, but you just needed a tweak. There's no failure in that. So, and the CFO would explain this, the risk of raising prices is almost always lower than founders expect. And the cost of staying underpriced compounds every single month. That is interesting. And I agree with that. The other thing I was going to say, the risk of raising prices is almost always lower than the founders expect. Yes. Like, for years I've worked with people, whether they're in services or businesses, and we talk about pricing. And I have one client, she was in such scarcity, and we just shifted a few things in her mindset, but we also shifted and said, put your prices up, even if it was $10. Like, that's $10 over time compounds. So when you price something, say I price it at $39 and then I go, actually it's valued at $55, let me put it at $45. That's $7 over time for every person. That's that increase. That is money. Same as like when you pay a fee on your price. So $39, Stripe fee comes out. It's actually only $35. That $35, might have an affiliate in there. It might have this in there. It might have cost me, I don't know, $3,000 to get that one lead. That's not cost effective, is it? But if it cost me nothing, cost me a bit of my time. That's not nothing, by the way. My time is valued. So as a person who's doing the conversion, my rate for me to jump into your business might be $500 an hour. Or if it's doing developer work, it's a different rate. And if it's doing this, like, I have different rates for different things that I do, because that's also market rates and also skill levels and where I'm at with that job. But majority of the time you can come in and pay me $650 for an assessment for an hour. So that $39 for me to sit on and do a live, $650 for me to do this, say, for my hour of time is worth that $650, but it's on the internet. So that compounds. How many people watch it is not one person in the room for $650. It might get viral and 4,000 people watch it. 4,000 people, because you're all sharing this out into the world. When you're watching it, you're going to tag it and you're going to share it and tag your friends and you're going to do all the things. Sending it out into the world is going to get you the result. So that $650 of my time, which I'm not paying myself for essentially at this point for solo boardroom, let's say, or conversion killer, the product might be $30 $39, but if that goes out to 4,000 people, and 10 of them buy, 20 of them buy of the 4,000, let's say 50 buy of the 4,000, depending on your conversion rate. In person, my conversion rate is pretty high. That would change too. But feeling like it's going to be bigger, like if I put it up $5, no one will buy. It's like I made a massive mistake in my business years ago where I converted to GST, and there was a whole thing, and I absorbed the cost. It cost me like 10% of my revenue. And at the time, I didn't really consider it until I'd done it, and then went, man, which was rectifiable, because what I was doing was, I don't want to put my rates up. People complain, da, 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 da. I'll just keep it the same. When in actual fact, it's a 10% charge that I should just add on to the top. It is a charge that the government, it's not to do with what I charge already. So now whenever I do that, it's always on top of what I've already established. Like those mistakes you learn the hard way. That was very early on in my business. So I'm going to, let's see, what's the last question? Do we have time for one more question? Let's see. My best offer is the one getting the most attention online. No, I have an affiliate interested, but no formal. No, I'm doing everything myself and it's starting to cost me. Let's go there. Last question. Okay. Okay, board, we're going to do one more question and then we're going to sign off, because this meeting has been an hour and that is long enough. Although a traditional board reading might go for a lot longer. And we're here answering questions, and I'm hoping people, obviously for the people who've reached out, and also for learning, just watching the feedback of the boardroom. And, this is the kind of thing you can discuss in the boardroom, but this is what's discussed in many boardrooms, these questions. Okay, on to the next question. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's going to generate my minutes as well. Very exciting. Let's show you that while we're here. I love that bit. Because the minutes filter out. So I'm doing myself and it's starting to cost me. What's the first hire or handoff the board would recommend? So a lot of people, my experience would be get the board first. Like if you're going to wanting to hire, get this boardroom, because the boardroom, the solid boardroom, literally will, one, help you decide those decisions, but also it lists action items that are game changers, that are levers. We don't play in the realm of maybe just do that because it's good. We play in the realm of, is this actually going to, and this is the board, is this actually going to move the needle in your business, the action? So when you're hiring someone, if you've got too much time, like it's starting to cost you, you're doing everything, it's what are you doing? Is it actually necessary? Because I have a lot of people who do shit for the sake of it. It's like they're avoiding everything else. So they're going to doing instead of actually moving the needle on what's expansive. I work with Genius Zone. That is my literal gift. Like you'll work in your Genius Zone. You're in the moment. You're doing the thing, and then someone says you need to go and, you've got to go do your social media posts. And what was it? At the moment I had this block. I had to go send emails. I was like, oh, I don't want to go do it. Like I was just, every part of me was like, no, because they wanted what we did instead of looking at the hire. If you go back, I've got a post, I'll tag it. I just talked about recently, because we built an agent into Solid Boardroom that does this for us. We're in the process. And so but to ask the hire questions, we had a list of things. Like once we established what it was like to do, we then went in, can a human do this, or does a human need to do this? That's always the question we're going to ask now, because it's zone of genius, but it's also the expansion of AI. So can a human do this, or does it? It's not can a human, because a human can do it. It's, does a human need to do it? Does it need a human to oversee it? Because agents still need humans, right? They can't run by themselves. They're not going to take over the world. They just can't. The way they're set up, as much as they want to tell you there's an apocalypse. So when we built it, we were like, okay, what is it that we're building, and what's the, like, do I need a person to oversee it? And the answer was, well, yes, but can that be me, and does it, me overseeing it, give time? Yes, because I'm going to build this, that gives me time of not doing it. I can still oversee it. Sure, that's actually leadership. So, or it might come to a point where I'm like, actually, I need an agent. What do we call the role? We need a director of agents, and the director of agents oversees agents, and that's what they do all day, right? That's a role. That's a physical person role. We can't have an agent watching agents, whether you can, but you still need someone physically human to watch all the agents. So you would eventually hire, like, that would be a hire that you will eventually do if you don't want to do that anymore. Like, for me, I love building and I love seeing what happens. And I think that every part of your business, all the human interacting with your business that are employed, need to understand the relationship with the agents. Our agents are employees. They're no different to anyone else. So currently in Solo Boardroom, our agent named herself Vera. I don't know if when she's in production, that they may change their mind, but in dev at the moment, in development at the moment, her name's Vera. She's our revenue and retention specialist agent, and we hide her in that way. So the question is, you don't, obviously the CEO is saying it's counterintuitive for most founders, but your first hire is never your genius zone. It's the zone that's draining it. So whatever's pulling you out of your genius zone, that's usually the one we go for. And that's what's happening with this. Like, it was like, it's like, go and do these marketing emails. I'm like, oh my God, so long, so clunky, blah, 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 blah. I was in my mind for ages. I'm like, how can I build an agent that does this? And I love certain platforms to send emails, and they're just not up to scratch yet. And I'm like, I'm loyal, but I still love them. And I'm like, can I get this to work in a different way? They're about to announce AI into their system, but that doesn't, cut it still. So I was like, grappling with all this about how I was going to make it work. In the end, I was like, I'm just going to do an agent to do it for me. So it's not what can someone else do, it's what am I doing right now that's not generating revenue, which is what I've said. So that's what the CEO is saying, and it's consuming hours that it shouldn't be. It says, for a founder like Erin, whose genius is the live, in the moment landing page analysis built on her 30 years of experience. This is based on Conversion Killer, or whether it's landing page, it could be just anywhere in your business, basically. On every hour spent on admin, scheduling, content formatting, and chasing logistics is an hour that I can't be billed $299 or $650, depending on which one you look at. And it's like, the COO's rule of thumb is, if a task doesn't require your brain specifically, it shouldn't be on your plate. So delegation is in there. So the first handoff is always administrative or operational, unless you love that, unless that's your genius zone. And then a capable virtual assistant, back to the same question. Does a human need to do this or oversee this? Can a human do it? Or it's not I keep coming back to, can a human do it? It's not can a human do it. It's, do you need a human to do it? Because, there's a lot of things we don't. What I think that shifts, I don't think this is about, disconnecting humans. I've already had that story today, but I do believe that we need to be prepared that our roles in the world will change. There's more opportunity for entrepreneurial spirit. There's more opportunity for people to create and bring their lives together, and create together. Like, that's what I always dream of, is that culture where everyone's building lives, everyone's building wealth, everyone's connecting and connecting with people with the same culture, with the same values, with the same systems, instead of fear-based hustle, get it done, etc. So the board's framing for your audience is you are the product. Anything that keeps you away from delivering the product is costing you money, not saving it. This is the point. This is the point of the boardroom. Like, imagine having people saying that to you and pulling out of you what you really need to do. So we're going to generate minutes here. So that's a strong note to close on, Erin. Your audience got real boardroom thinking today and also mentorship. So we're going to generate the minutes. This is what we do normally in the boardroom. The boardroom, it does take a couple of moments. We're going to conclude here. I hope you made it all the way through. If you don't, please make sure that you come and watch. If at the moment Solo Boardroom is 75% off the first month for the next 5 people who sign up, and then it will go up, and which is very exciting. So you get to jump in, you can have your first meeting on me, and then jump in and use all the features we've talked about today for a month for 75% off, and then your rate goes up. You can sign up as an affiliate and join me there. Sorry, this minutes is taking its time. That's because it's got a lot to do. It jumps you into the action board. It lists all the actions that we got from that, if there was any. And if we go into overview, oh, sorry, not overview. So you can click here. And this is the minutes of our boardroom meeting today. Talks about all the things, tells us the key decisions that came out, any conversations. There, it has pulled action items for the questions that we're asking, which is great. It naturally does that. So this is Solo Boardroom. Thank you for coming to our monthly boardroom meeting. I'm going to do this again. And if you're new here, make sure you comment below. Let me know what your thoughts were. What did you learn from the boardroom? And for anything that we spoke about today. I'm Erin Chathowan. I'm the founder of Solo Boardroom, and I will see you next time on the internet. Have a good day.